And it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane, and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to the Elite Tier race in Spain here tonight. We've just seen Challenger, which was quite a banger, and well, with me in the casting booth for this one, Ola again.
Hello. How are you?
I am quite alright, actually. And you yourself?
Yeah. I'm relatively chuffed, I'll say. Off the back of that last race, it wasn't looking good. For I'd say about 2/3 of it, but just stuck in it and came out with points. So, and driver of the day. So it could have gone a lot worse, and I'm excited to see some elite action.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it's like about every single race almost, I think you got points now. It's not looking too
Yeah,
bad.
barring Melbourne. So
Yeah, okay.
past 3 races got points, so happy days.
Yeah. So, Elite. What do we hope for here? Certainly for a little bit of better racecraft, I think. There were no major incidents really, apart from that safety car restart, but I feel like a lot of minor collisions that could have just been avoided.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that, and we should, in theory, expect to see a little bit better here, but there are some guys on track that do like to get their elbows out in the Elite League. Fair play to them, but that has caused its incidents in the past.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. There's, of course, some characters, I guess, with the injury of Rapid, the battle for the top spot has been blown far more open, as a lot more people are closer to the top guy, I guess. Not that Jimsky and Seagull were much slower, but margins, especially on top, are not that big in elites right now, and I expect very close margins in the midfield as well. Been one of the first few elite tiers here where, at least sometimes, if it is not the top tier of challenger tier drivers, challenger drivers aren't able to compete with our quickest guys at all here. So yeah, I'm looking forward what we will see here today. This qualifying looks like it might as well get very wet very soon. And there's a high number of drivers already out on track.
Yeah, bit of a big indicators of obviously a lot of them have gone out quite early on. Could give us a general idea to the fact they are trying to get a lap in before it starts to rain. In fact, there's only 2 drivers left in the pit so early in the session, and that is Hussein and Mofa. Everyone else out on track, and a lot of flying laps already underway.
Yeah, Hussein today alone, as Lauda has also been struck by a race ban. And yeah, Hussein himself, I think, always waits a little bit until he sets his first hot lap, so I'm expecting him to maybe not come out for another few minutes neither. However, if it was
Stroll and Cherry coming around on hot laps, I think. Yanman first of the line, 1:11.1, so that's the time to beat. Jimsky 1:11 near flat.
I assume 110s might be possible then. If this
No,
was the first run.
it should be expected. I think a little discussion earlier on before Challenger race got underway. Jimsky allegedly capable of a 1:10.5, so
okay,
110's definitely on the cards, but it's a matter of whether we're actually get there. Because as we say, could well end up with a bit of rain. Just so many cars out on track at the moment.
It's been a while since we had rainy events. Of course, it's always a shame when it happens in quali, because that just halves quali pretty much, because nobody's setting lap times in the rain anyways. Switchery out on the Intis indicates that there may be a little bit more time, and it does just look a little bit dark. Because otherwise he would not throw his potentially only attempt at a hot lap away like that. Mofa on an out lap right now, and Hussein still staying in the pits.
Switchery actually invalidating on that very last corner. Just a little bit too much carbon ended up over that white line just in the sort of run out of that corner, the exit. It's a really tough one to get right. You know, can make or break your lap those last two turns. It's near enough flat out. Some can take it flat out if you get the absolute perfect line, but quite often you do find yourself lifting off just coming through that very last corner. And it's just about keeping it on track at that point.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a spinny corner when there was still the chicane. And I assume it has only gotten worse ever since you come through there with a lot higher speed. Not sure if I even played this track in the new configuration yet. As if I remember correctly, they only added it... Did they not add it later to the game or something?
That
I am not
could well
sure.
be true. It's would not be my forte in that regard. But just about everyone in the pits, following a Ferrari coming out, which is Jimsky coming out again very quickly. So I think it must be in some ways rain on the way, as you know, Jimsky and Cherry coming back out very quickly. I can see a Mercedes coming out, another Alpine, which would indeed be MQ, and a Red Bull as well. So there is a good chance here that there may well be rain towards the end of qualifying, but we've not had any say-so from any drivers at the moment.
It's like, I don't get why you can't look this stuff up as a spectator, unless you can, and I just have never figured out how. Yeah, we'll stay guessing, I guess. Does look like it could potentially rain. Not sure about the racing either. I'd love myself a changeable conditions race. Been a while as that. To be honest, like, I have these weird, I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing things, I don't know. But sometimes it looks like there's already raindrops falling, but this might just be my eyes making a fool of me. I have this...
It is really hard to tell, to be perfectly honest, but Jimsky now on a flying lap. Mofa having a second attempt at it, but was starting it with about half the ERS. He ended up bailing out of his first attempt. Hussein has left the session. Don't know what that then means for him, but he still hadn't come out of the pits anyway.
Yeah. He is on Steam, so he should be able to join back whenever he wants to. Oh, Jimsky here.
It's an improvement, but still...
Coming up to Sector 3, let's see the Delta. Yeah, might be the sub 111.
Yeah. Almost. If he can gain just this little bit more time through the final sector, because it wouldn't quite be enough, it would still be a 111. He's got to absolutely send it around these last two corners. Picks up the DRS, heading up to the line. It is going to be a 110. It's just snuck under a 110.989. Jimsky again setting the pace here as Mercedes coming round to the line.
Yeah, Seagull staying in still, so maybe
there.
it's not so urgent yet.
Astro back into the pit because he's invalidated.
Emil's is 600s up as well. Good to be challenging Yanneman and potentially even Seagull with a little bit of extra time found in this last sector. It's very hard, of course, to find time in these last few turns, as there have been some breaking points eliminated, of course.
Oh, and that's invalidated.
Yeah, wouldn't have improved by much, anyways.
Yeah, he just full sent that. There was no lift off and just did not have the line again. It's one of those ones that you've got to be so careful of. As Phantomanium comes up and begins a flying lap.
Switcheroo is about to come through. Has not settled up yet. Gonna be his first one here.
At least on the softs as well.
Yeah.
Keeps it in the track limits.
Keeps it also in 120. We're not very competitive time here.
Warm up. Yeah. Burning the ERS here though, so this will be, I reckon, a second go at it. Must have made a mistake on his first one. Maybe just likes a proper sort of run and burns one out the way and gets the tires really warm, burns down that fuel and just absolutely sends it on what would absolutely be a hot lap, but the first one just, somewhere between the out and the hot. Ooh, a little bit of a snap, but catches it.
This turn crucial. I'm not sure if what line you even want to take, if you even want to touch the inside curb on the entry in the chicane. I assume that's quite risky.
Cuban is beached. I can't even see him on my camera perspective, but yeah, here he goes. It's just stopped right on the inside of what I believe would be turn 4.
A switcheroo there, sliding across the curb on the inside there a little bit. Lost him a couple of tenths for sure. And yeah, only coming out in P8 as a result. See, Eagle.
Marcel Jan up to 8th now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not a big difference. I mean, of course, this is the usual thing. At such high-speed tracks, there's not too many braking points, not too many slow corners where you can really make a difference with your line, with your exit. So, of course, everyone quite close together. Seagull here invalidating. And what's happening here? Yanneman with an improvement.
Quicker.
Yeah.
But still a 111.
Yep.
You can see they want to break the 110s. Ferrari coming around rather slowly. Red Bull in the
in-lap. Those Fanta, I think.
Astral's on a flying lap.
Yeah, let's
navigated what looks to be switcheroo quite nicely.
Yeah, 0.4 up after 6 correctly. Let's see. 1.2 seconds.
1.2 now after sector 2.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he has quite a bit of time to gain. Even that 1.2 improvement would, as of now, only net him 1 position. And that is at least an improvement ahead of his teammate. Honestly, I didn't see if Zane got back in here. I'm just gonna chuck him an invite anyways. Maybe he just forgot. Or maybe I just annoyed the shit out of him for no reason.
Maybe. That's okay though.
Hey, there he is. Okay. I didn't see a message at least that said he needed an invite, but yeah. It's now or never for him already anyways, right? 4.5 minutes, not too much time. Donny running wide here off track on his hot lap.
Position. Because I did look at him and then, I mean, again, the game's not always speed, believe it. It did look like he had picked up a purple sector 1 there. It's a shame that he's picked up purple sector 1 and then picked up some gravel not long after that.
James Key starting off his presumably final attempt. It's shaky in turn 1, but I think he decides to go on.
Still up.
lower. 3 thousandths off.
Yeah, so lost about a tenth there. Yeah, after that little wobble.
Do a little bit straight here.
About to get an idea of what he's in. Oh, here's another improvement so far. 500s up this time around. In a purple sector too, but unsurprising as he is currently sat on provisional pole. 2 corners to go. Let's see what he makes of it. Keeps it in the lines and up and finish, and it's a 1:10.8, so it is a big improvement there, and he really sets down a marker to be beaten. It doesn't seem as though anyone's really got close. Janman somewhat, but still in the 1:11. Szymski the only one to break through.
Yeah. Board with Glenn Sulk for now, as he is looking for an improvement as well. Goes up to 10th and 2.5 tenths quicker than his previous time. Quite a sizable jump, I think he was 14th or something before.
Yes. Yeah, Seagull's starting his flying lap. Sorry. Emils is out a little bit ahead of him.
Yep.
And based on the pace of the rest of the group, drivers on track, it will be Emils to set the next flying lap. Seagull not far behind him.
Hussein is also about to approach his one and only hot lap attempt, unless he has like extra fuel or another if this one goes sour. Meals an entire 10th up, a big improvement here, but
We're still leaving P4. Might just solidify his place on the second row.
Would create quite a gap between him and P5, even if only briefly. Let's see if he can carry it through. It is only a very minor improvement. Let's see what Seagull can cook. 4 thousandths down after sector 2. Improvement is not gonna be mega big neither. Oh, it is 1:11 flats here, as he found a lot of time in this last sector.
Szymski still untouchable at the moment, and you're really looking at Hussein, if anyone, to really upset.
They're not with the greatest time here in sector 2. It's about 2 tenths down of Szymski there. Let's see if he finds everything. Oh, this was a beautiful last turn though. Full speed line through this entirely.
Ouch.
And
He is into the 110s. But Szymski still sat at the top.
Yeah, a strong lap, or rather a strong sector 3 by Hussein there. His delta after sector 2 was not looking that great, but really found a lot of time and turned them. Kingsman is a 10th up here, early on in his lap. Still a lot of potential to improve or lose. I think Emils has found the pit tree, or has he? Not quite sure how.
Oh, he's found Mr. Mouse by the sound of things.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure what happened there, because I'm fairly certain Emils wouldn't just choose to retire in the middle of the last turn, because he retired before the crash happened. Ah, Kingsman going wide, but so wide that the game doesn't even care. Let's see, who else is going?
That's it. Yeah, really wasn't any form of advantage. That's a pit for Furious Donny, who's invalidated on his last attempt.
Fanta coming through. Point.
Oh, he
big
does
improvement
improve. He goes
there, yeah.
quicker than Emils. This man's racing in Challenger.
Yeah, but he upped his game for elites here. Let's see if Switch
Oh,
can
100%.
improve. Can't. MQ is currently a 10th up. It's could net him 2 positions if he can keep
Ready?
it.
No improvement from him.
MQ. Didn't
Nothing.
keep
It
it
was
on track.
invalidated on the last turn.
Yep.
Mofa up the line. No improvement from him either.
I don't
But
think
Yanneman's going to be our
shows
last one, but
improvement.
he's significantly down on time.
Yanneman has crashed earlier.
Astro will be the last one to complete any form of a lap, and it's not a flying lap, that's for sure. He's just getting himself up to the line. And that should be it. So we've got our... taking out a sign in the way. I don't know what he had against that particular sign, the 150, but is what it is. So Jimsky, Hussein making up the front row, Seagull, Yanneman, and Fanta making up the top 5 with Emil's next to him in the third row. Mr. Mouse, Marcel Jan, Kingsman, and Switcheroo in the top 10. As we go further back, it will be Glenn, Furious Donny, Mofa, MQ, Cherry, Astro, and Cuban Boy at the back in P17. But 5th place grid penalty for Mr. Mouse. 2 weeks running, might I add. So he'll start P12 instead. And Marcel Jan down to Glenn reaping the benefits of that, I believe, or even down to Furious Donny. In fact, very unfortunate for Mr. Mouse, and he is going to have to, for what was a good time, a 1:11.3, I think it was, and 1:11.3, is going to have to go further back.
We may see. Mr. Mouse just says, I lost my front wing on the racing line and a 5th place penalty. It sounds like the other car wasn't even there for him. Sounds like to me that, or what I can imagine is that Emil's crashed in the pits. And then his car got teleported onto the racing line, because if you crash in the pits it does weird things sometimes. And probably Mr. Mouse didn't even see it coming. I would be very, very curious about a clip of that. But yeah, we may see. Formation lap should be on. Yep. So we have a bit of time to look at what everybody is driving, and I see a lot of soft runners, top positions. Mostly on the first one, on the mediums. I mean, some of these guys are, well, not necessarily known for starting on softs, but use the softs more often than not, I guess. Yanneman, for example, very often starts on softs, try and gain an advantage early, and then is happy to sit out the latter stages of the race here at tires.
Yeah. There's a good chance that a few of these drivers are going to go for the 2 stops. But again, it's the hards you may see go quite long. They do feel quite good here in Barcelona. Long run in the hards and then either switch to the mediums or possibly even the softs late on. Soft runners do have the option of switching to the hards, possibly back to the mediums, and then the softs again is another one. Because I think you're really going to struggle. That graphic coming up saying soft medium, probably not gonna last. You're really going to be struggling come the end of that second stint.
Okay.
So you're either looking at a soft. I would argue a soft hard or a soft medium soft. The medium runners obviously having that option of going to 2 softs or on hards as well. It's really going to be an interesting one that I feel like may actually be settled in the strategy, because the undercut on this one is mega. It's worth a good few seconds.
Yeah, it was definitely working for Andro, I think.
Yeah.
Got quite a bunch of with it. Yeah, curious about the tire life for sure. And yeah, we will see what strategies people are choosing. I would love to see a two-stop strat. One stop is just so, I wouldn't say boring, but it's just so repetitive. Like everywhere, one stop. Sprinkle a few two-stoppers in there, and it's gonna be way more fun. Let's see though. We are at the start. Lights are about to go out. And then we will see. Do we see another lightning start like Martin had one here? Rimsky seems to be getting away decently. Hussein as well. No one has jumped anyone quite yet. Hussein cuts across, close the door on Seagull. Going through turn 1 there. Yeah, kind of just going in one after another. Not really much side-by-side racing up in front. The Williams there trying to find a space for himself. Switcheroo on the inside of Marcian. Trying to go through there into turn 3. Side by side on the inside. And it seems like he's made it stick.
A little bit further back. As Glenn appears to get squeezed by the two Alfa Romeos. And Astral up from, I think, P16 to P12 within those first 4 turns. Off to an absolute flyer. He is on the softs, but navigates those runners around him rather nicely.
And there was slight contact between Switcheroo and Marcelian, but it did not result in a bigger crash. Definitely a little bit dangerous.
Settled in as well. No side-by-side battles as Astral gets very close to the rear end and Mr. Mouse takes a different line through that corner. Someone's taken out a board. But all somewhat clean on the way through there.
Yeah, surprisingly, both tiers in a good start here. Very close between the top 3 especially though. Yaneman not much behind them, but they're really just by less, divided by less than 2/10 here. And I think as soon as the DRS activates, the overtakes start coming. Which is gonna be by the end of next lap. Hussein thought about going on the outside there. Seagull and Hussein almost locking wheels there to spin each other out. Losing him a little bit of time here, but they survive because Seagull does the smart thing. Does not stick the wheel for once. As everybody seems to be thinking they can just get away with that. But yeah, instead we're still going with our top group here. DRS train all the way down to P9 as far as this looks.
The interval's looking a little bit strange for me. It looks fine on stream, but Switcheroo currently a whole lap ahead of everyone, but still in P9. And as a result, Mr. Mouse showing us 1 minute and 16 behind Switcheroo. It's now leveled out now that we've crossed on over into lap 3. DRS enabled, but got to wait till halfway through section 2 before we see it.
Or wall banging, wheel banging rather, not really wall banging.
And Astral
between
Glenn and lost out. He'll be absolutely delighted as he has had contact in every single race that he has taken part in this season.
I'm not entirely
and is adamant that none of it is his fault.
I'm not entirely sure if that was between Glenn and Astral. It looked a little bit more like Astral just ran out of sympathy rather, like he had to dodge the cars that were getting very slow there. But it might have been Glenn and Astral as well. I think they were side by side there.
Imagine he'll be too concerned about this race and compared to Challenger, because he's scored his first points of the season, so that'll be why he's racing elite, because he's actually in quite a good mood off the back of that, even if it did go a little bit Pete Tong for him in Challenger towards the start of the race. Good recovery for him. He got P7.
Yeah. Further up, the distances have been stretched out a little bit. It's not really everybody in close contact racing anymore here. half a second gaps have been established. DRS is active now, so it's going to be very hard to escape this hell of a train. But yeah, no moves so far, but we're yet to see, I think, the first DRS activation on start finish lap, if I'm not mistaken.
We should have seen it.
Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah, we would have seen it towards the tail end of the last
yeah.
lap, and it didn't really throw anything up there. Fanta a little bit further back than he started, but just about everyone maintaining position. So I mean, it's a long straight, a long DRS, but it doesn't. It just for some reason doesn't feel like it does quite as much. You've got to be really close to the back, and Hussein will look to complete the move. Cuts in quite hard in front of Jimsky, but move was complete.
I feel like Jimsky said it's like half a second almost that you can gain on this straight.
Yeah,
and
you've got to be up there though.
Yeah. You gotta be close
100%.
behind, which is hard, of course, through the high-speed corners. But this is honestly one of the tracks where I have perceived DRS is more powerful. As Hussein here loses it by himself, no contact, just spun out and now lost a lot of ground to the top guys. Now sitting in P9, will have to defend soon because he has these dirty wheels now. And Mr. Mouse is coming with
DRS,
speed. Yeah.
2 alphas right on his tail.
And
this one a little bit harder to get the move done. You kind of have to throw it down the inside of the corner. Ooh. Hussein goes a little bit wide. He does have the inside line here, and Mr. Mouse does have to respect it, but better grip on what would be gravel-free tires does see him complete the move and up into P9.
Speaking of completing moves, Seagull into P1 in the meantime here on the start-finish straight.
Fanta into P5 ahead of Kingsman as well, who didn't have the DRS. Hussein does get back in front with the benefits of that DRS again, but he's got a lot of ground to make up.
He's lost it twice again in turn 2 and 3. It is very, very tough for him right now to keep his car on the track. There is yellow flags everywhere, but
couldn't possibly tell you why. Everyone's
come out
of that relatively clean.
Let's see further up. Actually, let's just stay with Hussein a little bit. Not sure if his tires have recovered yet. He looks a little bit all over the place there. Mr. Mouse is definitely smoking him on most of the parts of the track. It's really only the start-finish straight where Hussein had the advantage with the DRS, it seems. This time around, Mr. Mouse is gonna wait. Probably the correct move to do here, and gonna try to go past with DRS on the start-finish straight himself.
Fair play, Fanta. I want to have a quick look. See, didn't get DRS, so he's gonna just slip out of that window again. But a lot of pace there to catch up to the front four runners. Sorry, and he did get under that second, but it was after the detection point. So I would expect him to end up with DRS by the time they get to sector 2. We shall see. He does have to put his foot down a little bit. He's got just back inside that window. It's all going to depend on the exits of the next 2 turns. First one relatively clean from him. This is the big one though. Has to be a fast exit. It is. He's going to get DRS, and this pulls 4 more drivers into this fight. Does just slip out of it again, but did have the DRS and a move from Marcel Jan.
And Marcel Jan is dead.
No, he's done. Switcheroo's hit him after contact with Kingsman. Switcheroo doesn't seem to have wing damage, but it may well hurt the side pods of him. But Marcel Jan done.
That's crazy.
It's off track.
No, Switcheroo's going into the pits.
Yeah.
Oh, and he has lost his front wing entirely. He has crashed the pit entry. And he can be lucky that he's still alive, I guess, Switcheroo here. For now, yeah, he will really have to get a new front wing. What an incident, though. This looked super weird. Marcel just, I don't know, stationary there, and Switcheroo couldn't react in time and ultimately killed the man here.
Went
Hussein.
down the inside of
Oh my
Kingsman, and
god.
it killed all his momentum in the end, and off the back of that,
Hussein ain't looking
switcheroo.
good, can't lie. He's really struggling with his tires apparently. All over the track, running wide, left and right.
Ah,
And
Cherry.
yep, Cherry, first one to collect a time penalty tonight.
It was longer than it took me. Say that much for free.
Yeah.
I think I had mine by about lap 2.
Yeah, honestly, I have suffered from this in the past as well. Just like you're so eager to get going in the start, and then you just kind of have to calm yourself down as you go
Yeah.
on in the race.
And like I say, some very fast exits into some of these turns. Again, another yellow flag, and that was with Mofa and Glenn, but
Yeah, they seem to be fine as
this
well. In the meantime,
Mofa must
Hussein
be
has made
pushing
it
him.
past both of the Alfa Romeos on the start-finish straight. Back up to P7, but he seems to be holding them off still. Doesn't look like he's the quickest car out of the three right now.
And since Hussein dropped back,
Oh my
the three of
god.
them have lost about 2 seconds.
Mofa
Mofa
has been...
He's the wrong way. He
Yep.
might have time to turn it quickly before switching makes it around that
Yes.
corner, but he's got to get a move on or get out the way. The very least, he will get up to speed. So Switcheroo does have a little bit of company back there.
Yeah, it's
It's
probably gonna
Kingsman
be
now,
left
just
alone by
in a
his...
world of his own.
Yeah, it's really just... It has broken up the train quite considerably there, this crash between Switcheroo and Marcellian. Ultimately maybe caused by contact between Kingsman and Marcellian. Yeah, Switcheroo passed Mofa, no big surprise there. Mofa's gonna be smoking hot tires after the spin. And Switcheroo's just gonna fast past, fresh softs. Gonna carry him quite a while longer. And, well, I think we're back at the point where main battle is taking place in the top positions again.
Oh, we've lost Mercedes somewhere. It's Cuban. It's spun. He's got to be careful in his re-entry here because Switcheroo's coming through turns 1 and turns 2. Oh, he's lost again. This is looking dicey. Oh, and Switcheroo has to go wide to avoid him there.
Well. Hussein
Hussein's
has
pulling
pulled
away,
clear of Mr. Mouse at least.
But
So
those soft tires won't go for too much longer, I would suspect.
Yeah.
This front 4 sort of pack, I mean, they'll be getting a toe off each other, but I would imagine Seagull's tires will be faring the best because no dirty air on those. He's going to pull to the side and let Jimsky through. And looks like this front sort of 5 are looking to build a gap here. I can confirm that, well, they're likely to be in VC together, but I can't see it. If Fanta is not, he's with Cherry, Astro, and Kingsman at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
But Jimsky and Seagull, Yaneman possibly, and Emil's definitely are usually in a voice chat together during these races.
Yeah. It is like more of common sense than actual strategies, I think, that you just
100%.
don't really defend at this point of the race if someone goes past you. Jimsky is driving a little bit of an attack here, though. He's really, yeah, building himself a little bit of a gap. Could push away by the virtue of there being a back marker now in the way of everybody else that they have to go by ASAP. I think Yaneman is gonna have. Oh my god, a little bit of a coming together there with Mofa as he pulled to the side, but Yaneman as well was intending to drive around him, so both of them pulled out at the same time. And
Yaneman lose a bit of time off the back of that, but Jimsky, oof, he's gone.
yeah.
Oh, and a 5-second penalty for ignoring a blue flag there from Mofa, so
Yeah, he
I
needs
mean,
to
it's
just.
a lot of cars he had to let through, but that is still.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
is that like
Virtual safety car, okay. But like, as soon as this ends, he
Oh, it's
just.
Glenn. Just
Uh,
lost it at the last turn. He's still going, but
oh yeah, he has
virtual
no
safety
wing at
car
all.
regardless. No. Another pit entry incident, maybe, possibly. Who knows?
Not sure, I think he wouldn't have wanted to pit yet on his mediums.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
So, yeah. Mofa needs to get out of the way ASAP as soon as this ends to let Emils and Fanta through. Would have probably just like, I don't know, left the track maybe and let everybody through as soon as he saw the group coming. But like this, Jimsky has a little bit of an opening that Seagull has to try and close. Safety car ending here is beneficial though to everybody but Jimsky. Oh, and Jimsky is actually pitting. Honestly, not the worst move I'd suggest. As Mofa even picks up a drive-through for speeding on the safety car.
Oh, goodness me. But yeah, it is worth mentioning, like we said at the start of the race, that the undercut is massive here. So even though Jimsky would have maybe liked to have gone in while the safety car was, virtual safety car was still in effect, with a good sort of, you would say, push sort of outlap here, should regain his place as Yaneman now leads, and finally on a rather limp background, Glenn
I
has made
mean,
it to the pits.
I think Jimsky will still have gained like a second or two off this pit stop.
Straight onto the
Like
hards
he
as well.
got at least a little bit of time out of this VSC on the pit entry. So yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be fine. He's also gonna be running up into Cherry, who he's likely gonna make short work of.
Goes out, down the inside, and comfortably through, but I think Cherry knew that he's running a different race, and another penalty. Oh, Mofa has DNF'd, and we have a safety car. And I would imagine we'll see a flurry of cars enter the pits here in the first of which. Oh, Mr. Mouse has hit the pit entry!
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness me.
Dude, Jimsky has almost died by crashing into Mr. Mouse. I wonder if this is the same issue again, because Mr. Mouse stood right on the apex.
Oh, he said, "Why I suck," so that might
Okay.
be the indicator there.
Fair enough, maybe it was just a skill issue. This means, however... Oh, well, wait, no, Jimsky's going through, because everybody else got through as well. This could be big for Jimsky, though, because I don't think...
I can't see why the other five in front of him wouldn't hit.
Likely past the pit lane already, is my
I would think so, because
assumption.
Mr. Mouse and Furious Donny looked to be the first to have the option. Hussein actually would have been, so the five of them must have been well ahead, and this has worked out really nicely for Jimsky. In fact, it is a little bit of a free pit stop for the rest of them in regards to the rest of the grid, but if Jimsky gets round quick enough, which it looks like he's going to do,
he has to follow
11
Delta for
seconds
this
down.
lap still.
He does, but he's... We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's got to be some very quick pit stops as Jimsky
I think
coming around second to last.
Yeah, I also want to say this safety car makes soft medium a possibility as well. So let's see.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
Can
It's
pick
gonna
it up
be so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's through. He's through.
Okay, so tire disadvantage for Jimsky, but at least
They may well go longer
position.
as well. I think those hards could last, whereas the mediums maybe just last. It is 18 laps. We're expecting them to go 20 by the end of Jimsky's race. Should he stay on the hards?
Yeah. I mean, of course, if you can take your soft 13 laps or so, you're likely to take your
mediums,
mediums,
18, you would
yeah,
think so.
right? And counting these 1 or 2 safety car laps that we're gonna have should be even more doable. So I think that the medium runners.
Jimsy's got 9 medium runners behind him.
Yeah. I'm not sure when the point starts where Jimsky can compensate on pure pace. I think he's gonna have a little bit of a tough fight with Jannemann and Seagull, but he's likely gonna be able to follow in DRS regardless. I'm not sure if Fantominum can match Jimsky's pace, even with a tyre advantage at this point though. So this might be where this battle ends. Jimsky, where he's trying to fight Jannemann, Seagull, and then Fanta isn't really the biggest issue anymore. But
on a podium, it's really going to be a question of how much ground is this now going to help Hussein make up? Because he was I think he was about 5-6 seconds back from Kingsman, and Kingsman had lost about another 5 to the front 5 runners. So now Hussein right back into the picture.
I mean, Hussein, after his spin, has been very far back. Definitely has made a little bit of a comeback. Then 7 here now. Same tire than everybody else, maybe 1 lap older. Yeah, he has the podium in his sight again. Kingsman, Meals, Fanta, all products of the Challenger tier, have been wildly successful there individually, each of them. And you would think, at least, that a man of the caliber of a top elite driver should be able to make his way through there, join the fight for the podium / P1, especially if Jimsky plays in front for a little bit and maybe tanks the lap times a little bit due to being on the inferior compound. So Jimsky already letting go of the safety car, assuming that it's gonna come in this lap. I would assume the same, but it doesn't. We're gonna be granted another lap of safety car. Not that anybody asked for it, but we're gonna be having it anyway.
Astral might have done.
Oh yeah, true.
He's absolutely throwing it round the track at the moment to catch up to the back of the pack, and he is going to do so as a result. So I fancy a point or 2 here, especially with a couple drivers in front of him with time penalties. I actually think Cuban's got a good few on him. He's got a drive through at minimum. I think he does have another 3 and 6 seconds. So Cuban's got to serve that soon. There's MQ into the pit, strangely enough.
I think he also thinks he can serve his drive-through on the safety car. But no. You gotta be going in as soon as the safety car comes in. I'm not entirely sure. He got his for speeding on the VSC, whereas Cuban has got his for speeding on the safety car. So MQ likely has, I think, 2 more laps to serve it. Cuban is gonna be having
seeing it on him.
3 more laps. Actually, not sure if MQ can just. I don't think you can serve drive-throughs in the safety car. Maybe he served
not
it
got
before.
a penalty anymore. Yeah, I think so. Certainly looks like it. But so far, biggest gains here from Cherry and Cuban, both up 6 places. Hussein down 5, and most of the grid really gaining. The only other 2 to lose out that are still running is Switcheroo's down 1 place, Glenn down 2.
It wasn't MQ with the penalty, it was Mofa.
That'll be, yes, yeah. That's right.
So that's why he doesn't have one, because he never had one. So, Jimsky dictating the pace. And yeah, we'll of course take it slow, but not quite as slow as that.
Yeah.
Blocking his 80-ish kilometers. of course, holding that brake, because that would absolutely melt your brakes IRL, but in this game it just makes your tires nice and cozy. And we're all waiting for the go time. It has not come here.
There it
It
goes.
has come now, yeah, there he goes.
Straight on the ERS with Janneman bearing down Hussein. Looks to already make up a place on Kingsman. He's
Yeah.
going down the inside. Can he get it done before turn 1? They go side by side. And he does get through, and he's almost got up alongside Emils. Has to go wide and loses out a little bit of pace. Was there contact with the rear end of Emils there? I don't know. Furious Donny coming into the picture as well. And Hussein now having a battle back against Kingsman.
That was very tight
style.
there. Kingsman not really leaving Hussein much space. They was almost over the curb on the inside already, and still they did touch slightly. Very, very ambitious defending by Kingsman there, but also ambitious move, I guess, for Hussein. But he has cleared the first of the obstacles lying ahead of him. Janneman now trying to go around the outside of this hairpin.
Glenn loses that a little bit and drops a couple places.
Jimsky leaving a lot of room there, not eager for contact. Gonna be Janneman ahead here. If you have the inside line here, is just better. And there we are. Janneman.
3 turns there of inside line there for Janneman to get it done.
Oh, but Jimsky in the counter is looking for the inside line in turn 1, and Seagull up in the mix as well. It's 3 wide here potentially, but Janneman backs out. Jimsky contact.
No!
And it's all gone wrong for the Ferrari driver. He's all the way down the field. Janneman there making contact with Jimsky. Lanselk retiring in the pits. Cuban serving his drive-through right now. And it is Seagull now nicely in the clear there, a second ahead. Jimsky on his hard compound now, all the way down in 12th. Not looking great for him and his recovery drive.
Seagull now just looking to build up a little bit of a gap here.
Yeah, and Hussein smells his chance. Already all over the rear of Emils.
Right alongside Emils.
Yeah.
Oh, there is contact there, just a tiny amount. But they have managed to both come out unscathed, and Hussein gets it done. And now just one away from a podium place with Fanta next in the crosshair.
All fair and square by Hussein there. He locked up a little bit, but ultimately he did hold the inside line. Emils, even though it was a little bit of a dive, being overtaken there, looking for revenge here maybe, but Hussein has the inside once more.
To the runoff area there, it was Emil. Wasn't really his corner to take in the end.
Kingsman is the laughing beneficiary.
He might get 2 here. Hussein doesn't quite have the momentum. Kingsman does look to just back out slightly, but still somewhat alongside, and gets a place on Emil's. Astral up to P9 ahead of Cherry.
Yeah.
Probably the big winner off of that restart.
Also, starting all the way from the back, of course. But yeah, he meant Hussein, I think. Oh no, Astral actually made up 4 positions due to Jimsky also dropping down. Cuban with the serving of his drive-through. And, well, Hussein is now in a bit of free air, at least, to chase after Fanta. Whereas Fanta and Janneman desperately try to keep themselves in the DRS windows of the car ahead, as Seagull seems to be pulling up the pace a little bit. And all of his ERS here to get away from Janneman, deny him that DRS, and potentially build a gap that can serve him for the entire rest of the race. Astral.
Hussein going in the runoff there and cannot make the re-entry until Emil's switcheroo and Furious Donny have all come past him. I didn't quite see what happened to him on turn 2, but ended up having to go through that runoff area, rejoin 3 cars behind. Fanta clinging onto the back of Janneman will get the DRS at this next straight. Janneman not going to get it from Seagull, so Seagull can just keep that gap going. It's a bigger gap now for Fanta ahead of Kingsman.
Yeah, Kingsman, of course, massively held up by the overtaking shenanigans involving Hussein. Fighting always loses your time. And Janneman briefly within the 1 second, but not crucially at the DRS detection point. He's not going to have it yet again. Now we
Kingsman
see
looks
how
like he's under
much
threat.
this gains. Like 0.9 seconds to below 0.4 for Fanta here on one singular straight. So much speed and time that you gain on the start-finish straight.
Meals through on Kingsman, and it did have a switcheroo looking to make a move down the inside of turn 1, but couldn't get alongside and had to pull out of what would have been a audacious dive. Hussein makes one place back on Furious Donny. There's a gap to Cherry with MQ and Ashel having lost out. Purjimski in P12. Fanta's still hunting Janneman down. DRS just keeping him in that touching distance. He's got a little bit of a gap still to Emil's as well. No changes through that second sector, but it all comes together. Third leading into first. A Seagull increases that gap. Janneman lost time though. 1.4 behind, and Fanta just 3/10. He should get this move done with the DRS, and will do. Fanta, challenger tier driver, up to P2.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot that he is not elite yet, but he will very likely be in the next season. He's performed massively here, and honestly, it looked like the gap between Challenger and Elite on this track isn't mega great anyways. But yeah, him being in P2 is kind of crazy right now.
Oh, and they've gone nearly 3 wide there into turn 5. Emil's, Hussein, and Donny, and switcheroos up to P5. What happened to Emil's?
Yeah, he must have been overtaken with DRS there. Switcheroo was not really slacking around when it comes to pace. He was ahead of
Kingsman as well, though. And nearly lost out to Hussein and Donny. He must have ran wide somewhere. Lost a bit of time.
So, Janneman is going to get DRS here, and he's going to get past Fanta, most likely. I mean, this entire switching around thingy for Janneman and Fanta is gaining them time on Seagull, of course. Because you would have, the car on P2 driving approximately the same pace as Seagull. And then the car on P3 every single lap just gains half a second on that by overtaking, and thus gains 0.2 or something on Seagull, because the distance between Seagull and then the P3 kind of stay the same. So what they're doing right now, I think will get them to the Red Bull of Seagull in the long run. For now, it seems like Seagull can barely hold the advantage.
Astral picking up a time penalty there. Switcheroo 4 seconds behind is not going to have the benefits of DRS at the 5 drivers behind him. Well, Hussein going down the inside of Emil's and gets it done really, really nicely and gives himself just a little bit of ground to catch up to Kingsman. Oh, he's losing it. Said Kingsman really pushing on Switcher, who goes down the inside. They're side by side through turn 2 and 3, and Kingsman does get it done on those medium tires. Switcher's got to be careful. Hussein all over the back of him. And it is just this battle for P4 that is really getting interesting.
Well, Seagull has gained himself a little bit of extra time, but there has not been an overtake between Fanta and Janneman to start finish straight again. I mean, ultimately, I guess Janneman likely not gonna keep his position anyways. I am not entirely sure if he's at fault for the Jimsky collision, but it looked a little bit like he was not keeping his inside line tight into turn 1 there. Apart from that, it's really a very open race there. He could get away far enough from Kingsman to keep P3 at least, but everything behind Kingsman there is far open. I think Jimsky might even close up to these guys by the end of the race. He's right now approaching MQ.
Hussein looking for a move down Kingsman. On the inside, there is contact between the two. They both managed to avoid spinning out, but a little bit of snap from both drivers should give Emils a little bit of ground here. Hussein eventually getting ahead of Kingsman. And Switcheroo, maybe possibly reaping the benefits of that. He won't be taken through the DRS in Sector 2, barring a mistake, you would imagine. Again, once we come around to that pit straight, that long DRS zone, we'd expect to see a change again. Hussein may well find himself in P4.
And that would be the first time that he'd be leading Little Train after his mistake running wide in turn 2, losing all of his progress again. So yeah, right where he wants to be, right where he can try to challenge top guys again, potentially. Let's see. He is side by side to turn 1. Seems to be easily ahead before turn 1 even. There has been a spin by Cuban Boy, I think.
Yeah, it is indeed. He is still
Going
going.
again.
That's a bit of a tentative return to track.
They're defending his place against MQ, who counter-attacked the move that Jimsky made in the lap prior. Veneman lost some further time. It's about a 10th per lap that Seagull can get away. And I'm curious to see what Hussein can cook now that he has the free air in front of him. As Cuban retires in the pits. Not much more to be seen there. Very nicely done. Even though his car will drive out again. Not really more you can do. So, 5 more laps to go.
Mediums lasting better than expected, but I do think we're quite possibly assisted by that safety car. Jimsky still got a lot of ground to make up. Near 5 seconds down from Furious Donny in P8. As Hussein and a few of the others having to dodge the retired Cuban.
Yeah, where's he going? He was already in the pits. Like,
so it'll be him pulling off and retiring officially now.
Yeah. But yeah, at least in the safety car, he's just gonna despawn there, and there we go. Has that helped anybody? Not really. Hussein is gaining on Fanta at least, but Fanta has lost some
lose time. Yeah.
Not
mistake made. I think he may well. Oh, it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
No,
oh, he has it. He has it.
Does he?
Yeah, he has just barely got theirs. Honestly, it's kind of fraudulent that the spot is right there. I would like, this is basically already on the straight. I would just make the detection point a decent bit earlier.
Yeah, just maybe the exit of the previous turn.
Yeah, but all of a sudden Fanta back to half a second of Yanuman again. Very clutch that he got that DRS.
Yeah, it helps him just pull away from Hussein there a little bit as well. As Furious Donny has also lost the back of this DRS train slightly and will continue to do so as they come up through Sector 2.
Yeah, of course, this is where you try to lose the red tail you're carrying with you. That's Hussein here. But he has not quite managed to do so just yet. Still 0.8. Switcheroo just about staying in range here. Gonna have DRS here again. And Will does gain back a lot of time as well.
And just about keeping pace again, but is still slightly losing time to Hussein at least, but not enough that it would jeopardize his podium finish. Seagull running comfortably in P1 with a near 2-second gap and has been ahead since Janneman and Jimsky came together at turn number 1. Jimsky ultimately unable to recover from that. He's got about 3 seconds to catch up to Furious Donny, but it's going to be a small consolation of 4 points, if anything, for him in this race. This Hussein just sort of helps to pull the rest of them away from Furious Donny. Emil's nearly 2 seconds ahead now.
Fanta might be in some trouble now, as he's on the edge again. And I think he's ever so slightly in range yet another time.
Oh my, how's he got away with that one?
Yeah, but it's getting tighter. It's still 0.7 away, or well, 0.6 by the end of the straight, and Janneman can certainly sense the opportunity to just try and gain that time in the middle sector here. Higher management might be more on the more, well, not necessarily experienced, but the quicker driver's side, I guess, as they don't have to push that hard for these competitive lap times, or maybe can preserve their tires a little bit better while doing so. So yeah, I'm curious how long Fanta can hold out P3 there behind Janneman. I mean, this is still an amazing performance by him regardless, coming in there as a challenger tier driver, of course. Has been dominant today, even if not successful in the end. And I'm glad that he at least gets his revenge in Elite tier.
Yeah, set for a podium here and what would ultimately be a better result than what he managed in Challenger. Not really through any fault of his own, though, as Contact did end what was looking like a comfortable race. He did have a big gap ahead of the first sort of round of pit stops at the very least.
Yeah, then safety car, then...
Yeah, safety car and yeah, Contact sort of coming through. It was just into sector 3, I do believe, that first right-hander, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is only 1.5 more laps here, so doubt that there is too much happening still. Fanta still staying barely in Janneman's DRS. Oh, Seagull has lost a little bit of time here. Half a second, maybe.
Still going for fastest lap.
Oh yeah, in P12 though. RIP.
Just wants to take it away from Seagull, I think.
Jimsky is looking like he could catch Donny still. And Emils is on the very edge to be out of DRS range in the next lap. This could be one more big chance for Kingsman to maybe gain another position.
It's not an easy one to do. Kingsman's really going to have to send it into that left-hander to do so. National comes round. Let's see. I was looking for. Oh, this is of course, the lap out. So this will be his attempt at fastest lap.
And Jimsky somehow made it past Donny in a spot where I wouldn't have thought of an overtake. Wait, this is the last lap already. Oh man, this track goes so quick. But yeah, I guess then it is, in the end, Jimsky getting that P8. Seagull crosses the line. Jannemann has gained so much in the last few laps there, but not enough to get into attacking range. Emils keeps his place above Kingsman as well. Jimsky coming home in P8 after that collision earlier. Could have a look on Astral still, if he is improving by a sizable amount. 0.6 up so far. Let's see. Oh, he needs a little bit more than a second here. Needs another second in this last sector here. Otherwise, he's not gonna beat the fastest lap.
Worth a try though. Yeah, nothing else to play for in the end. Might as well have gone for it.
Yeah.
Didn't look like it was. I think it was still a 114. So Seagull coming away with a maximum of 26 points in a race, and he just keeps his nose clean.
Yeah.
Jannemann and Jimsky coming together, and that sort of ended the challenge for P1 for both drivers, realistically.
Yeah, it is sort of the Seagull way, I guess, to win a race. Just consistent, be there at the right time, stay out of trouble. And well, I mean, even though Jannemann position could potentially change via reports, Fanta for sure up on that podium as well, and rightfully so, stayed out of trouble as well, drove a super clean race. Very nicely done for the Challenger tier sub here, to get onto the podium here into P2. 3. So, let's have a look. Yeah, Seagull, Jannemann, Fanta, as we've just seen on the podium. Seagull also grabbing himself the fastest lap by a sizable margin. Almost a second quicker than anybody else. Except really Jannemann and Hussein, who were both in the 113s as well. Then Hussein recovered to P4 at least, after his multiple mistakes that cost him a sizable amount. Switcheroo Emils, decent finishes as well for them in the end. Kingsman getting some points. Jimsky, of course, recovered reasonably well after his late crash. And Donny and MQ, the last two, to pick up some points here. Well, that has been it from us for tonight. And next week, I think we're going to be in Belgium on the beautiful circuit of Spa. So yeah, looking very forward for this. Might be Herbie back in the booth. We don't know. Little bro has been without internet for 2 weeks, and had other business to attend to today. Yeah, we will see. It's gonna be a good time regardless. Sure, tune in. For now, thank you all for being here. Thank you for and it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane, and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions.